My first days meeting Jerry as a stand-up, to him being creator, producer, and star of his own show, he's always had an amazing work ethic.
And if it was possible to create an 8th day of work for himself, he did.
Here's a guy who's really smart, really clever, a great observer of the human condition, and expressed himself in a very original, unique way.
On my block, a lot of people walk their dogs, and I always see them walking along with their little poop bags, which to me is just the lowest function of human life. If aliens are watching this through telescopes, they're gonna think the dogs are the leaders. If you see 2 life forms, one of them's making a poop, the other one's carrying it for him, who would you assume is in charge?
And you could see that was his strength. I mean, boy, was he great. And then when you throw him in the scene with the actors, you could tell he was, it wasn't quite his element.
I felt that he was nervous as an actor, so I sort of felt sympathetic towards him. And he was funny as hell.
I know that we had a chemistry. I felt a connection to Jerry. I
had tons of fun with Jerry on camera and off camera.
Jerry has a lightness to him. You know, Jerry is very, I mean this in the best way, juvenile. You know, he's young. He looks at things, even his stand-up is a very youthful. I mean, to look at a newspaper and go, I can't believe if one more thing had happened, they'd have to do 1 column on a blank page.
It definitely didn't feel like, and no offense to him, but I didn't feel like he was my boss.
Jerry was always so even-keeled. He's always walking around. People say, what was Jerry Seinfeld like on the show? And I said, if you didn't know he was part of the show, you'd think he was a tourist, because he always stood around in the back. He would always stand around the back of the group there with his hands in his pocket, kind of looking up over the scene, kind of thinking of taking it all in. Or he'd have the ever-present bowl of cereal that was there like that.
And if there was ever a crisis, that is to say, a script that was started out like crap and then they had to retool it, or a guest actor who wasn't good and had to be fired, or things that would rattle someone, he didn't seem on the surface to be rattleable.
And I would come on many shows nervous, because in sitcom you don't have much time to prepare. And all of a sudden, whomp, the audience is out there, and you're acting. And Jerry Seinfeld would always say, take it easy, don't worry about it, just relax, take it easy. You
know, when you're making a series, it's very demanding. And there were no distractions. He didn't, have a family or a wife, or even, for the most part, a serious girlfriend, really. And so he just lived and breathed the show.
Nobody knew better than I did his commitment. If you wanted to get a hold of Jerry on a weekend, you called the studio.
He called it being in the submarine, doing a year of shows like I'm in the submarine, and it was that kind of focus and determination, I think, that really made the show what it is, because it really did all revolve around his presence.
One of the keys to the success of the show was Jerry's total unselfishness and disregard for what he was doing, and wanting the others to have also great material, and not being threatened in any way, and just wanting the show to be as funny as it could be.
It would have been so much easier for him to massage his ego, to have actors around him who are not as good, so that he's not exposed, but he did just the opposite. He got those 3 actors who are brilliant, wonderful actors, to bring him up. And there's not many people in Hollywood who have the ego to be able to see through that and know that that's the best thing to do.
He just thought, well, it's going to be funnier if George says it, or funnier if Kramer does it, or funnier if Julia does it, and I'll be the straight man. And he was the straight man quite often.
What happened to my stereo? It's all smashed up.
That's right. Now it looks like it was broken during shipping, and I insured it for $400.
But you were supposed to get me a refund.
You can't get a refund. Your warranty expired 2 years ago.
So we're gonna make the post office pay for my new stereo now?
It's a write-off for them.
How is it a write-off?
They just write it off.
Write it off what?
Jerry, all these big companies, they write off everything.
You don't even know what a write-off is.
Do you?
No, I don't.
But they do. And they're the ones writing it off.
reminded me of Magic Johnson, because he would be a great passer. He was, I love that, because I immediately flashed on Jack Benny, who had a show where everyone was funny around him. And it was still called the Jack Benny Show.
I think we were the premise of the joke, and then Jerry would come in with the blow. And that was his instinct for good stand-up comedy.
I gotta get out of this city.
So you're tunneling to the center of the earth?
And did they suspect anything?
No, it was a fantastic beard. I held hands, I called him honey.
And we discover yet another talent. Posing as a girlfriend for homosexuals.
You know, a lot of these scratches will buff right out.
Save the light! Save it!
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
How did you know who they wanted?
And you want to be my latex salesman?
You know, you work on other shows where you have a funny run-through, and afterwards the star says, you know, I don't think it's working. And what they mean is, too many other people are getting laughs, and I'm not getting the laughs, and things get rewritten so that the star... And the amazing thing about Jerry is he wanted everyone to be funny.
He never had any kind of star attitude or diva attitudes that a lot of stars can succumb to.
Wow, the Emmys. This is exciting. And how great for all the nominees. Now, this year, in the Best Actor in a Comedy Series category, we have a new nominee, Michael J. Fox. He's great. And I think everyone's happy about it. However, to make room for a new nominee, sadly, tragically, someone else must be left off. We all love Michael J. Fox. I'm a big fan of Michael J. Fox. I'm a big fan of Spin City. He plays the mayor or something. I, on the other hand, play myself. And I guess last year, you people didn't quite buy me as me.
Well, Jerry's a performer, and he was always good in front of the camera. He wasn't an actor, and he didn't need to be because he was playing himself. And he did that very well, and I think as we went through the years, he became a good actor, but he still was Jerry Seinfeld.
How could I not successfully play this part? Who could say I didn't believe he was Jerry Seinfeld?